The woman draws a tube of blood. She forcefully splashes it onto the cabinet. Then she pours the remaining liquid onto the floor. After that, she spreads it out evenly. Then she wipes it clean with paper towels. Finally, she coats a wooden stick with blood. She throws it into the fireplace to burn it. Using a fireplace in July would make it easier for the police to find clues. And she is staging a fake murder scene. The purpose is to make her cheating husband take the blame for murdering his wife. The woman's name is Amy. Once upon a time, she and her husband Nick were an admired model couple. But beneath her husband's polished appearance was an extremely ugly true face. He spends his days fooling around in a bar funded by Amy. Everything he eats, drinks, and enjoys is paid for with Amy's money. And every time Amy finishes a hard day of work, she still has to clean up the house for this freeloader. For the sake of family harmony, Amy endures all of this. But what Amy cannot accept is that her husband is secretly having an affair. He takes her money to secretly support a younger, prettier female student. If Amy had not decided to check on her husband after working late, who knows how long Nick would have kept deceiving her. Completely disappointed, Amy decides to leave this scumbag. Before leaving, she is determined to ruin Nick completely. First, she invites her pregnant neighbor over to her home. During their conversation, she hints that Nick has violent tendencies. Next, she cuts off the toilet's water supply. After the neighbor finishes using the bathroom, she uses urine to fabricate records of her own pregnancy. And the idea of killing a pregnant wife would surely explode online. Next, she maxes out Nick's credit cards by using the money for online gambling. She quietly creates the illusion that Nick is desperate for money. Finally, while Nick is not paying attention, she gets him to sign a massive accidental death insurance policy on her. This creates a motive for killing his wife for insurance money. After everything is prepared on their wedding anniversary, Amy watches Nick leave the house and begins her plan. She overturns the furniture. She smashes the coffee table. She creates signs of domestic violence. Then she draws blood to stage the appearance of a murder. Finally, she drives a junk car bought on the black market and quietly leaves the city. A few hours later, Nick returns home and sees the broken coffee table and the chaotic furniture. He immediately calls the police. Soon, detectives discover splattered blood and the clues Amy deliberately left behind. Before long, Nick is taken to the police station. The detectives collect his fingerprints and DNA. But during the following interrogation, the detectives are surprised to find that Nick does not even know his wife's blood type. He is also clueless about other information regarding his wife. This inevitably raises the detectives' suspicions. Meanwhile, after many hardships, Amy finally arrives at a remote small town, and in order to avoid being recognized, she cuts off her long hair and uses hair dye to cover her blonde hair. Then she goes to a supermarket and buys a large amount of high-calorie food. The police, once they discover her disappearance, will surely conduct a large-scale search. She needs to gain weight before the police find her. After completing her disguise, Amy excitedly goes to a computer. She searches for news about her own disappearance, and just as she expected, Nick has already been arrested by the police. With the evidence stacked against him, he will be charged with intentional murder and locked away in prison forever. But the smug Amy does not realize that a group of thugs has set their sights on her in disguise. That is the first half of Gone Girl. Let's look forward to the next part together.